Ever wonder what happens if pirates attack a cruise ship? Or what really goes down when someone falls overboard? And what about getting left behind in a foreign port? Well, buckle up and grab your lifeboat snacks, because today we're diving into real cruise ship secrets, the kind that don't get printed in the glossy brochure. Let's lift the anchor on some truths cruise lines hope you don't notice. Pirates on a cruise ship? Sounds like a movie plot, right? But in 2009, the MSC Melody was sailing off the coast of Somalia when it was chased by armed Somali pirates in a speedboat. Passengers were ordered into their cabins. Crew turned off all the lights. And then, surprise, armed Israeli security guards on board opened fire. The pirates, they hightailed it back to the high seas. While attacks like this are rare, modern ships in high-risk areas come equipped with water cannons blasting at 80 miles per hour, sonic weapons that can cause hearing damage, and something called a P-trap. No, not a plumbing issue, but a floating line that tangles pirate propellers. Morale of the story? Cruise ships might look like floating buffets, but they've got more defense systems than a Bond villain's yacht. If you're 15 minutes late, the ship will leave without you, even if you're running down the pier like it's a Tom Hanks movie. Cruise lines have tight port schedules, and waiting for late passengers? Not in the budget. Your cruise card tells the crew if you're back or not. And if you're not, they'll enter your cabin, grab your passport, and leave it with port officials. Good luck! You'll need to get to the next port on your own dime. Tip: always keep your watch on ship time, not local time that jumps an hour ahead while you're sipping margaritas. Ever wonder where the crew lives? Most staff sleep below sea level, in shared rooms with bunk beds, working 10 to 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. They use a secret corridor called the I-95, which runs the length of the ship, like an underground highway. And while they can't socialize with guests, they've got their own gyms, their own shops, and bars, and even jacuzzis. So next time your towel animal is folded to perfection, maybe raise a glass to the crew making it all happen behind the scenes. Yes, modern cruise ships still hit ice. In 2022, a Norwegian ship collided with a growler, not a bear, but a low-lying chunk of ice, in Alaska. The ship had to cancel the rest of the cruise. But thanks to welded hulls, not rivets like Titanic, ships today can take a hit without splitting open like a tin can. Plus, the International Ice Patrol is always watching, kinda like Santa Claus, but with sonar. It's not something cruise lines advertise, but most ships have a morgue tucked away below deck. If a passenger dies, their body is stored there until the ship reaches a port. And no, that free soft-serve ice cream day doesn't mean they're clearing freezer space, despite some very persistent internet rumors. If you hear Operation Rising Star over the radio, that's the code for a death on board. Just a little cruise trivia to liven up your next trivia night. Heard a mysterious bravo, bravo, bravo over the PA? That's not the ship cheering for a Broadway performance. That's the code for a fire. Alpha means a medical emergency. Zulu is for fights. And Oscar? That's man overboard. Codes help the crew communicate emergencies without sending passengers into a full-blown panic. Unless someone announces Code Buffett Stampede, then all bets are off. Spoiler, it's very serious and extremely rare. If someone falls off the ship, the bridge is alerted. A code Oscar goes out. The ship turns around. Nearby ships are notified. Search teams mobilize. But in open ocean, the odds aren't great. Of 212 known overboard cases between 2000 and 2019, only 48 were rescued. Some cruise lines now use sensors and cameras that detect when someone falls and mark the GPS location instantly. Better advice? Don't climb the railings, don't lean over the edge, and don't jump for TikTok likes. You're not that guy. The most expensive suites are often at the very front, high above the ship with incredible views. But here's the catch, they rock the most. If you're prone to seasickness, you might want a midship cabin on a lower deck. And no, stabilizers don't make the ship feel like a hotel on land, they just make it sway slightly less dramatically. So yeah, bring ginger chews or those snazzy wristbands just in case. Staying on the ship during port days isn't lazy, it's strategic. When everyone else is off exploring, you've got the hot tub all to yourself. Spas offer discounts. Specialty restaurants are easier to book, and it's a peaceful paradise. Plus, you're not dealing with the hassle of overpriced excursions, pushy souvenir vendors, or running back to avoid being left behind. Sometimes, the best shore excursion is no shore excursion. Modern ships have go-karts, zip lines, water slides, and yes, some unexpected surprises. One woman got stuck mid-slide in a transparent loop suspended over the ocean. She had to be rescued from the tube with a trap door. Thankfully, there's an alarm system for exactly this scenario, so if you hear a strange beeping near the pool deck, someone may be stuck in the people-sized hamster tube. Ever wondered what those big white balls on top of the ship are? No, they're not modern art. They're radomes, protective shells that house sensitive radar and satellite equipment. They keep things like internet, GPS, and communication systems running, all while blending in like giant golf balls. Now look down. Those carpets in the hallway? They're not just decorative. On Disney ships, they feature tiny world globes with north always pointing forward. On some Norwegian cruise line ships, the fish in the carpet swim toward the bow, so if you're lost, follow the fish. Even the mooring ropes that tie your ship to the dock have secrets. See those colorful cones or discs? They're rat guards. Their one job? To stop little stowaways from scurrying up the ropes and living their best cruise life in your cabin walls. Nice try, Remy. No cheese plate for you. Cruise cabins are your private escape, until someone finds a hidden camera. Yep, this has happened multiple times. In 2017, a Florida couple found a suspicious lens behind their TV aboard a Carnival ship. Carnival claimed it was non-functional, which sounds oddly like something you'd say about a cursed doll. And in 2024, a Royal Caribbean stateroom attendant was busted for placing spy cameras in bathrooms. He allegedly recorded nearly 1,000 passengers before being caught and sentenced to 30 years in prison. The lesson? Incidents like these are very rare, but a quick sweep of your room, especially TVs, mirrors, and air vents, isn't a bad idea. And if your room offers free ice cream out of nowhere, maybe just double-check where they moved the frozen goods from. If you're going on a cruise, there's one place you're guaranteed to visit. Not the spa, not the casino. I'm talking about the glorious, overflowing buffet. It's convenient, it's fast, it's where diets go to die. With dignity. But here's the thing. As wonderful as the cruise buffet can be, there are some easy-to-make mistakes that can ruin your experience, or someone else's. So today, we're covering 15 cruise buffet mistakes that every smart cruiser should avoid, plus a few etiquette reminders you wish other passengers knew. Let's dig in before the food gets cold. You just boarded. You're excited, hungry, and so is everyone else. That's why the buffet is packed tighter than a Black Friday sale at Costco. Families with luggage, long lines, no tables. But here's your pro move. Check if the main dining room is open. Many offer a quiet sit-down lunch with better food and no chaos. Or head to the pool grill or pizza station. Some ships even offer discounted specialty dining on day one, a little-known perk. Bottom line? Unless you love a crowd, skip the embarkation buffet madness and explore your quieter options. Yes, it's all you can eat, but that doesn't mean it all has to be on one plate. Mac and cheese, fried chicken, pizza, shrimp cocktail, pork roast, a meatball, and that's just one spoonful. Take smaller portions, try a few bites, then go back for seconds or thirds without wasting food or feeling like you swallowed an anchor. Let's talk cleanliness. That hand sanitizer station? It's not decorative. Buffets mean shared tongs, shared spoons, and, unfortunately, shared germs. Always sanitize or wash your hands before diving in. Don't use your fingers. Don't double dip. And for heaven's sake, don't lick anything and put it back. Oh, and if you drop a roll on the sneeze guard, that's a sign. One of cruising's best-kept secrets? Each side of the buffet might be different. What looks like a mirror image setup might actually hide the stir-fry station of your dreams. Some ships offer sushi on one end and tacos on the other. Asian cuisine over here, roast beef carving station over there. So before you settle for mystery casserole, do a little buffet window shopping. If you have food allergies, listen up. Cruise lines are pretty good at helping out, but you've got to speak up. Let the line know before you sail. Talk to a manager, not just the buffet server with 6 trays and a ladle. Cross-contamination is real, especially with shared serving utensils. When in doubt, ask for a supervisor. They'd much rather help you early than call the ship doctor later. Yes, there's bacon. Yes, there's cake. But cruise buffets also have grilled veggies, sugar-free desserts, salads with more than just iceberg lettuce. You don't have to eat clean the whole trip. This is vacation after all. But if you're aiming to not need stretchy pants by day 5, balance is your friend. We all learned how to behave at Golden Corral. Let's not forget it on the high seas. Here's your refresher. Don't cut in line. Don't hover and hold up the station. Don't make life harder for the crew. And always, always, grab a clean plate for seconds, even if your old one isn't that dirty. This isn't a backyard BBQ. It's a shared space with 3,000 strangers. Oh, and try not to camp out at your table during peak lunch. If others are circling like seagulls looking for a spot, maybe wrap up the poker game. Buffets get busy, like line out the door busy. Want to avoid the crowd? Eat a little early or a little late. Lunch at 11:30? Peaceful. Lunch at noon? Utter madness. Dinner at 6:45? Lines. Dinner at 5:30 or 8 o'clock? Smooth sailing. You'll thank yourself for the quieter experience, and for not having to fight over the last breadstick. You're not in a rush. This isn't airport food between connections. Slow down. Chew. Breathe. Enjoy your meal. If you wolf down your meal in 7 minutes flat, you'll just end up with indigestion and a missed opportunity to people watch. Relax. You're on a cruise. I hate to be the fun police, but your wet swimsuit and no shirt look, not Buffett approved. Most cruise lines ask for a cover-up or t-shirt before entering. No shoes, no shirt, no shrimp. Also, no dripping through the buffet line like a soggy Labrador retriever. Dry off first, then dig in. Flip-flops are fine, but make sure everything that needs to be covered is covered. You just had a big lunch. You think, I'll skip dessert this time. But then you walk by the pastry station, and that tiny cheesecake calls your name like it knows your weaknesses. Remember, cruise calories don't count. That's not science, but it should be. If you see something that looks good, take it. The worst-case scenario, you don't finish it. The better-case scenario, you discover a chocolate mousse that changes your life. You pile up your plate, find the perfect table, and then realize your mouth is drier than a desert in August. Now you're stuck doing the buffet walk of shame, carrying your tray back through the crowd, looking for lemonade. Here's the fix. Always grab your drink before loading your plate. Water, iced tea, coffee, whatever keeps you hydrated and happy. A meal without a drink is like a cruise without a towel animal. Technically possible, but deeply disappointing. You want to go back for seconds, but you don't want to lose your spot. So you leave your purse, phone, sunglasses, tablet, novel, and bingo dauber on the table, like you're marking your territory. Here's the reality. Most people are lovely, but not everyone is honest, and buffets can be busy. If you're cruising solo, ask a crew member to watch your spot or take your valuables with you. If you're with someone, tag team your buffet run. Your phone doesn't need to save your seat. It's not a chihuahua at a Starbucks patio. You entered on one side, you explored the stations, and now you don't know how to get back to your table. It's not just you. Cruise ship buffets can feel like food labyrinths, especially after 3 trips to the carving station. Here's your solution. Take note of landmarks. Are you sitting near the soup bar, the ice cream machine, the guy who won't stop talking about how much shrimp he ate? Use your surroundings. And if you do get turned around, hey, maybe you'll find a new dessert section you missed the first time. Cruise buffets are legendary, but that towering mountain of shrimp cocktail might come with a hidden risk. Food in buffets is prepped in bulk, handled by many, and often sits out longer than it should. And if hot food dips below 140 degrees Fahrenheit or cold food rises above 40 degrees Fahrenheit, welcome to the danger zone, where bacteria throw a party. Even condiment bottles can be germ factories. Passed hand to hand like a game of virus hot potato, they can undo your whole sanitizing routine. Also, beware the all-carb, no cruise trap. Yes, the breadbasket is bottomless. But seasoned cruisers know to save space for the prime rib, fresh seafood, and desserts you'd never cook at home. So choose hot food that's steaming, skip the limp sushi, and maybe grab your own packet of ketchup. Here's a cruise secret few notice, but every ship quietly enforces. Rats love cruise ships. Think about it. Endless food, warm cabins, and people who drop French fries. Historically, rats would board ships by running up the mooring lines when ships dock. To stop that, cruise lines use rat guards, metal or plastic discs placed on those ropes to stop rodents mid-scamper. They're shaped like cones or saucers, and they're not there for decoration. So if you spot them during embarkation, just know, it's a tiny war being waged between modern engineering and Mickey's real cousins. You'd think the whole point of a cruise was to, well, cruise. Hop off, see the world, grab a fridge magnet or two. But something's changing. More and more cruisers are choosing to stay on board while docked. And I'll be honest, I've done entire cruises without stepping off the ship once, and I don't regret a second of it. So what's going on here? Why are experienced travelers skipping the shore for the ship? And when should you consider doing the same? Let's dive into the smart reasons why staying on board might just be the best part of your next cruise. Just because a ship stops somewhere doesn't mean you should get off. Port safety varies, and some places are riskier than they used to be. Tourism can attract petty crime, scams, and yes, worse. That quaint market street might be listed on the advisory list. Before any cruise, I always check official travel safety sites, like the UK FCO or US State Department advisories. And if I see red flags, I stay on board, no questions asked. This has kept me away from recent unrest in Cozumel, concerns in Honduras, and warnings in parts of the Bahamas. Sometimes the pool deck is the safer adventure. Let's be honest. Some ports are more trouble than they're worth, especially when the ship docks far from anything remotely interesting. Ports like La Spezia for Florence, Livorno for Pisa, or Le Havre for Paris. They all involve buses, tours, or expensive transport just to see a thing or two. Not to mention, after a 2-hour bus ride, do you really feel like marveling at a cathedral? Me neither. And if I've been before, there's no shame in spending the day relaxing on board with a cappuccino and no crowds. It's your vacation, not a sightseeing marathon. Some port names are just fancy marketing. When your itinerary says Rome, Civitavecchia, it really means Rome, 90 minutes away. Same with Venice, Trieste, or Florence, Livorno. You're not docking by the Colosseum, you're docking by a bus depot. I now double-check ports with tools like whatsinport.com to see exactly where we're stopping. Because if I need to spend hours getting to the main attraction, I'd rather spend that time on deck with a good book and a better view. Cruise ports are getting crowded, especially in peak season, and nothing kills the vibe like 15,000 cruisers descending on the same tiny island. I once checked cruisetimetables.com before arriving in Nassau. One day had 2 ships, the next had 6. Guess which day I chose to go ashore? If a port is slammed with megaships, I'm not elbowing my way through souvenir shops. I'm claiming a lounge chair with a view, while everyone else waits in line. Some places simply don't want us anymore. It's a growing trend in over-touristed cities. Barcelona, protesters with water guns. Venice, actively limiting ship arrivals. Bergen and parts of Norway, posters literally telling cruisers to go away. If the local vibe feels hostile, I take the hint and enjoy the serenity of the ship instead of playing the unwanted guest ashore. Let's talk value. Cruises now come loaded with add-ons and upcharges, from drink packages to spa passes to private cabanas. If you've paid hundreds for extras, why spend the day ashore? On port days, I've had thermal suites all to myself. I've had the same cabana others paid a fortune for, minus the crowd, and lunch at the buffet without waiting for 20 people ahead of me to slice roast beef. Sometimes staying on board feels like having the whole ship to yourself. Here's a simple truth. Your drink package doesn't work in port. That $80 a day fee, totally wasted if you're out touring, even if you're not a big drinker. The same goes for coffees, sodas, mocktails. They're all prepaid but only available on board. So on days when I want to relax with a few cold ones or hot lattes, I skip the port and soak up the savings. Cruise ship Wi-Fi has improved. Thanks, Starlink. But when 3,000 passengers are all trying to FaceTime their cat at once, good luck. On port days, though, the bandwidth is wide open. It's the best time to check emails, upload photos, or finally stream that mystery show you started last year. Sometimes the internet is faster than the shore excursions. Want to try the spa but hate the price tag? Try it on a port day. Massages, facials, and wraps often drop 20 to 30% when everyone's ashore. Specialty restaurants do the same, especially for lunch. I once had a 3-course steakhouse meal for half the evening price. Plus, no scrambling for reservations. Staying on board can be luxurious and cheaper if you know when to do it. Sometimes the ship is just too good to leave. Resort-style ships like Symphony of the Seas or Norwegian Viva, they're floating amusement parks, water slides, go-karts, trivia games, afternoon tea, and you can't do it all in just sea days. So I skip a few ports to enjoy the ship without waiting in lines. It's like getting a private resort day, without the resort fee. You know you're officially a seasoned cruiser when laundry becomes a highlight. On longer cruises, clean underwear starts feeling like luxury. But here's the thing. Most cruisers don't realize that laundry rooms are ghost towns on port days. No lines, no stolen dryers. And you might even score an iron that works. I now bring a book, toss in a load, and pretend it's a relaxing spa ritual. Bonus tip, some cruise lines offer mid-cruise laundry specials. They wash, press, and fold for less than you'd pay at home. On one trip, I sent everything out and it came back folded with more precision than I've ever managed in my life. So yes, on some port days, I stay on board just to do laundry like a pampered adult. Cruise spas know we're not all made of gold, but they do have a sneaky trick to make services feel less outrageous. Port day discounts. Massages, facials, maybe even a seaweed wrap if you're feeling adventurous, all slashed by 20 to 40%. And best of all, no relaxing to the sound of bingo over the intercom. It's peaceful, it's serene, and no one's trying to sell you miracle wrinkle cream, at least not as aggressively. I always check the spa flyer the night before port and book a treatment, while everyone else fights over beach loungers in town. It's the only time on a cruise where the relaxation actually feels like a bargain. If you've ever tried finding a lounger at sea on a sunny day, you know it's like playing musical chairs, with towels. But when the ship docks and the crowds vanish, it's pool heaven. No kids cannonballing, no loud music, no spilled daiquiris near your book, just you, the sun, and a hot tub with actual elbow room. I once had the infinity pool all to myself and felt like royalty. If you're someone who loves the pool but hates the chaos, a port day soak is absolute bliss. Just don't forget sunscreen. Empty pools mean fewer witnesses to warn you about lobster-level sunburns. Here's something that doesn't get enough love. The bartenders. They're some of the best conversationalists on board, and they know all the ship gossip. But when the ship is full, they're pouring drinks faster than you can say extra olives. On port days? Different story. I can sit at the bar, sip a mocktail, and chat about favorite ports, weird passenger stories, or where to find the best espresso martini on board. One time, a bartender even taught me how to make a signature drink and let me name it. It was called the Lazy Cruiser. Fitting. This might be the most underrated perk of staying on board. You don't have to do anything. No rushing, no queues, no excursions. You can sit on your balcony, read a book, stare at the ocean, and enjoy that rare thing we forget exists: stillness. Sometimes I grab a tea, park myself near a window in the cafe, and people watch the few others who also stayed behind. It's like the ship breathes differently on port days. Quieter, calmer, almost spa-like. Honestly, it's my favorite kind of vacation day. The one where no one expects anything from you at all.